Okay, I think I'm live. Nice. Hit like, share, and subscribe. Welcome if you're new to the Comedeorological Report, Comedy Meteorology Report. It's a little show we put together here. A bunch of us storm chaser nerds and friends. We're like a collective, basically. That's what you can call us, is we're a collective from across North America, really. Collective of storm chasers, weather nerds, Frankie McDonald, the star of the show, of course, myself, and a number of meteorologists as well. So that's what we're doing here, the Comedeorological Report. I just got to set things up here, so it always takes me a minute or two to get things going so that YouTube will accept it. Put the new screenshot up there because if I don't take the time to put the thumbnail up, then you just get this picture from taken up in the piece of me riding Carl's horse there. Brandon Hauk is here. That's great news. I love when Brandon Hauk is here. So last week you probably missed the show. I did, mostly. I was driving. We had a training session there up with my crew. And Brandon Hauk saved the day to be host, as he's done many times. Of course, he's a professional radio man, so it's not like he's incapable of that whatsoever. No, he's the best. Okay, I think that's up and going. Hey Dean, hey Shelly, Caribou Outlaw, Justin Ortel, get in the thread here if you can at some point. Stop in for a few minutes tonight, Justin. I hope you're not working right now. Maybe you are, and I understand, but we'd love to see you because there's lots to talk about in Manitoba, I'm sure. We had a land spout tornado. Are you there yet, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have you heard anything about the Vanderhoof land spout tornado?
Oh,
Whether
not yet, but I know I've grabbed their attention, so they're looking at it. We'll see what
good.
happens.
Well, I mean, it seems to be a pretty open closed door case.
I'm just having a lot of fun with ChatGPT this week, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. Tell us about that. I'm almost done setting things up here.
okay. Well, I'll read the meteorological one on the show because that'll be good. That'll be good for the show.
Did you notice that I trimmed out the part where like I shared it, but I trimmed out that it said it was AI roast of our show, so it just made it look like it could have been anyone who said it because I thought it would be funnier that way.
Yeah. But I made another one about myself for Brandon Hauk on the radio. So this is brand new today. It's a brand new roast. So
okay.
I'll read it out. Here we go. So listening to Brandon is like tuning into NPR after it had one energy drink. Informative, kind of, soothing, and still somehow putting you to sleep at 8:30 a.m. This man could report a tornado and still sound like he's reading bedtime stories to a room full of houseplants. And let's talk about that voice. Brandon's got that smooth late night DJ tone, perfect for romance advice if the romance was between two fax machines. You know he's on air because the studio gets 3 degrees cooler from the shade he throws at the weather. Well, we've got a cold front moving in. Just like my dating life. Brandon, blink twice if you're okay. He treats the radio mic like it's a confessional booth. This morning it's -10, it's snowing, and I haven't felt joy since 2006. Thanks, Brandon. That's the exact mood we needed on our commute to work. But hey, whether he's calling for sun or snow, mispronouncing town names with confidence, or hitting us with this signature dad joke of the day, one thing's for sure, nobody delivers dry forecasts with wetter energy than Brandon Hauk.
There you go. Big country radio star there, Brandon Hauk.
Yeah.
Oh, Justin's coming in.
Oh, nice.
We got Justin coming in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. So, what do I got here? Seeing as Justin's coming in, we better talk. There's smoke, and
Smoke on the water.
yeah, it's coming from a different direction than you kind of expect it to. So that's interesting. Lots of smoke. We can look at that uh, in a little bit here. Look at, forgive me, the satellite hotspots. Frost advisories there on the foothill side of the Rockies. Pretty quiet out there. A bunch of there's a rainfall warning there.
Oh yeah.
Look at this, right back home. No, Oshawa area. Rainfall warning, 50, 60 millimeters continuing through this evening. The rest of Ontario is under special weather statement, 20 to 40 millimeters. There's not a lot going on yet, but I think when the heat comes back, we're going to have some stories, eh?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Got the lay sweat wind warning there out near Frankie on the west side of the Highlands there. Winds near 100
Yeah.
kilometers. And it's a wreck house wind up here, 100 kilometers an hour. So over here it's a lay sweat, but here it's a wreck house. It's the same phenomenon though, folks. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
different weirdos have different names for things. So we'll come back to hey Justin, you're there?
I'm here. I'm on my
Oh good.
phone. I haven't been here for a while, so trying to figure out how everything works on my phone.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we need you.
Oh, it's been crazy, crazy stuff going on. Tornadoes, snow, record heat, and then probably almost record cold. And I got 3 inches of rain in Brandon, but the fires only got like 5 millimeters. And yeah, it's just been crazy. And the fires are blowing up today once again, and they're looking really bad. And there's a fire up near Flin Flon again going, and looks like just north of the major lakes in Manitoba as well. There was a pretty big fire there north of Lake Manitoba, and the heat looks like it's going to build up here in Manitoba under high pressure and lots of sunshine. So that's not going to help the situation at all whatsoever. So that's what's going on here right now.
Wonder if we can see that we see that smoke on here, you think today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been
This
sharing
is
You'll see it.
shots. Yeah.
this is many images, so it's going to take a little while to get there. Now we're going to come into today.
Yeah, and there was
Now
hardly anything in the morning. There, you could see them a little bit, and then they just blew up around like 1, 2 in the afternoon, right there.
there they are. Well, you
Yeah,
get the heat, you get the wind.
and then you see the one up north of the lakes there too. Got
But
itself going.
and the sunshine as well, right? The sunshine's a definite trigger. Like you get sun
Yeah,
on a hot spot, that hot spot starts to wake up in smoke. I mean, I was hoping you get a bit of a longer break in your fire behavior than this. I mean, yeah, in a lot of
yeah,
places there has been, and
yeah.
just the topography of Manitoba itself, like it's very rocky place in some of that shield. And if you get a bunch of rain, fire has fewer places to hide in
Right.
that forest, so it has a tendency to put them down faster. But then you get areas where the soils are deeper, and that's not the case, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was nice to see the sun again, like where I'm in at southwest corner, and we had so much rain, probably a week with cloud cover. It was nice to see the sun again, but then it just ignites the fires again. So can't really win.
Let's see here. It's coming. It's coming. There it is. Yeah, this north flow too. That's what's interesting. The northeast flow. Look where it's coming from.
Blowing the smoke
Not the
right into
direction.
Winnipeg.
Not the direction you would normally see the smoke coming from.
Right. And that's what a lot of people are commenting on the Weather Center in the comments of the posts. Like, man, why are we having so much east wind lately? Like usually that's low pressure, but it's kind of high pressure right now. So it's interesting.
Let's see. Let's see if the hotspots are showing up. Look at that ballooning.
Yeah. Terrible.
So some of that will be smoke. Some of that may be embers of transported and lit new fires and whatnot. Or interesting though, seeing is like you can see how it's a couple different fires going on, of course, too, right?
Branching out. I think it's just going to get devastating over the next week or two. Like, I don't see any rain at all. Lots of sun, lots of heat.
Yeah, you're in for a ride, probably, eh? Look at
I'm
that.
thinking so. Yeah.
Not far from critical infrastructure highways. Those are priorities.
But what's crazy is Mark Ingles, his father is down stateside there. There was when we had the rain, his father was being evacuated around there because there was flooding,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it just didn't reach far enough north into those fires.
Some of these guys in Saskatchewan didn't catch the break that you had in Manitoba. They've
Right.
been actively burning for a number of days. I mean, there's been down conditions, relatively, temperature wise and weather wise, but they have been pretty actively going.
Yeah. BC has way less, than the prairies. That's kind of rare, honestly.
It's very quiet right now.
Yeah.
A couple of these guys around Fort Nelson have been kind of hiding and coming and going,
Mm.
and they may be in places where they're not gonna be action much. A bunch of these dots in Alberta could be gas flares or anything, just single dots. Like I don't read too much into it
Mm.
unless I know for sure that that's a location of something happening. Areas of
Yeah.
heat. And even
Like,
like car fires and things like that will sometimes get picked up.
right. I think this is going to be probably one of the major weather stories across Canada for 2025 is these fires in Manitoba and Northwest Ontario.
Well, here comes. So we're all on the north side of it right now, so relatively down conditions across Canada.
Mm.
The heat's not really there, but then look, boom,
Yeah.
the heat.
Wow.
Less so for BC. The door shuts for us pretty fast. That's been our pattern so far this spring. That upper level low pattern I keep talking about. In comes a new one. As soon as it goes out, the next one fills its place. So we get the ridging here for a little bit, but then look, we get the shit come in too.
Mm. Big old trough there. Woo.
So there's that. Should we look at heat?
Yeah.
Where's the heat?
It's going to be like a gradual build over this next week or so across the eastern prairies. Nothing really intense, but it's just going to every day, 78, 75 Fahrenheit. Just builds. Yeah. Not good. Look at that heat. That is not good.
I'm glad we get a couple days of it at least in the interior. Man, it's been miserable here. It's like
Yeah.
every day you're just waiting for the next hail. But look at that, boom, across Canada. There you go.
Yeah. Whew. It's a lot of red.
That's the warm up. Basically, that red's like active fire weather for the most part. Now it depends on what your local conditions are, of course.
Mm.
Like active fire weather doesn't mean the same thing in the Carolinian forests of southern Ontario as it does, in Fort St. John.
Yeah. Alberta really getting hot there. Wow. Getting some 80s.
Look at that.
Ooh, 94 up in northern Alberta.
That's the weird thing we've been seeing a lot too the last few years is the heat escaping up and showing up in the far north, eh?
Yeah. Like that's almost 35, 36 Celsius up there
In
once you get
May,
into the high 90s. Yeah.
still in Northwest Territories.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not careful, it's going to be sparking some major fires up there again too. Get that heat. Wow, steady,
Uh,
man.
yeah, pretty steady. There's a bit of a breakdown going on there. Whoosh.
Big
Some big
low.
low. Yeah.
Might be some severe storms. That would be nice.
But yeah, I mean, on that lookout, like we've been cold. I mean, you can see where the jet stream more or less is just by the temperature gradient.
Mm,
And here it comes.
yeah.
Here
Wow.
it comes. Summer's coming.
Boom.
Meteorological summer is coming June 1st. So, I think when we get a couple days into this heat, we can start to look at it and determine things for real about what it's going to do.
Yeah.
I have an item of business I have to take care of on the show here. We still got 13 minutes till Frankie time, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Hit like, share, subscribe if you haven't before. Welcome to Our funny show there. Brandon, anything Alberta side worth mentioning this week? What do you got? What are you going to be bringing up on the show?
Well, we'll talk about the unsettled pattern we've had this week and a couple more days of that. Then we get the upper ridge of high pressure, then we warm up. And then, yeah, I got a little chat GPT for you. Yes.
Excellent. Are you able to stick around for a while tonight, Justin? You're not cleaning schools, I see.
Yeah, no, I had surgery on my toe earlier
What?
on in the day. Well, I had stubborn ingrown toenails, so I had to get that taken care of. So took the next couple days off work, so I get to come be a part of the show tonight. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah,
Stubborn toenails, eh?
ingrown toenail. Yeah, at
Yeah, I hate that.
least
Had
they
that once.
they numbed me up good. So sure burned when they were numbing me, but afterward it was all good.
I had that once, and then I hated like everything in the world for a little while until it got dealt with.
Yeah.
And it's like every step was painful. It was bad. It was really bad. Okay, I got the next thing set up to look at.
Can see it all bandaged up there. There you go. See my bandaged up toe.
Holy shit, yeah, it's real buggered up there, eh?
Oh yeah.
That sucks for you, but I mean, it's a real blessing for our audience and for us.
hopefully we don't hopefully we don't lose too many viewers over that shot, but
Here comes Hildy. No, that wasn't graphic. YouTube was like kind of mad at me there because I like put up a video that it thought was you know, crossed the line or whatever. But actually, if you watch the video, I'm like not condoning anything. I'm like kind of making fun of it and saying what not to do and what not to be. And so then they had like everything's getting flagged now, and it's like, how do you explain it? The
Building outside?
you have to go through like their thing every time. It has to like go through all your videos before it'll approve you for monetization, this and that. They're just
right.
and I'm like right down the algorithm again after like being up in it for a little while. Thunderstorms in Alberta right now, Brandon.
Yeah, we got a few cells. Non-severe stuff. A little bit of hail, gusty winds, most likely.
Nice.
There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit of a line in there.
Texas has the big storms right now, man. The motherships down there have been crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It does. I was like hoping to
Oh.
find something in Canada worth talking about first, but there isn't anything. See how look, Saskatchewan. There's just
Saskatchewan, nothing.
flat land and flat weather.
nothing raining anywhere in Manitoba. It's okay, yeah. Nothing going on in Northern Ontario anywhere. No. Oh, look at this. We got a little bit of precip. I guess there is like the rainfall warning in Southern Ontario. Oh my God, there's a rainfall warning there.
Mark's been enjoying the nor'easter down in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I have a bunch of video from him.
Oh, good.
Hopefully the
Have any-
wind's strong enough to blow them over, I guess not that strong.
No, but there's a well, I won't tell you, I won't give it away.
Oh, okay.
There is damage.
Mm.
He does have damage in the one video. It got real there. Okay, fine. We'll go to Texas.
There's some bigger
Everything's
storms.
bigger in Texas.
Yeah, there's like 3-4 inch hail down there earlier. Big
Yeah, look at
stones.
these are still pretty beastly looking things, eh? Robert Lee. They still have
Uh-oh.
a town called that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
big tornado there. Was that this year or last spring? There was like a huge, crazy tornado right around there somewhere.
Yeah, well, it was probably aiming for that for whatever statue of Robert E. Lee is in that town.
Well, at least
Well,
they're getting some rain because it's Texas, probably pretty dry. Probably loving the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
so that's what we're really reduced to. There's just It's like the one day in North America where things are pretty quiet.
The day that we have the show.
Yeah, I mean, there was like monster tornadoes yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and also the day before that too. And I'm pretty sure the day before that, and that, and that.
Yeah.
Somewhere at this time of day, there's like some fat wedge on the ground causing chaos, and we could be like here on the show. We just can't win for anything, man. No matter how hard I try, it's always the wrong thing. I've always achieved greatness, followed immediately by like, you know, oof. Hank Vleistra's joining us tonight. Hilding's here too now, I see. That's amazing. Hey guys. Hey audience.
Well, we missed you last week.
Really? Come on, you can be honest. I heard Brandon did pretty good.
Yeah, he did good. That's good.
It's almost like he's a professional radio man, Seemed like it.
I guess.
Even though GPT doesn't agree, yeah? I thought that was hilarious.
Well, that's all I need now is like even the robots to agree that I'm a failure. Can't
Well,
win.
It was a good report for the Comedeorological report anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll read it in my radio voice. How's that sound?
Oh, there we go.
Wow, these guys are pretty beastly, eh? Kicking out a lot of
Oh, yeah.
lightning, even if their radar signature wasn't too exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, look at those overshooting tops. Boof.
Ooh. Man, I was gonna try and come on the show last week, Brandon, but I had to work on getting that land spout information out there. Been a lot of
Oh,
land
yeah.
spout stuff this year across the prairies. It's early.
Yeah,
Lots of land
that,
spout tornadoes.
I saw that in
Minus
velocity there, and I was like, oh, there might be something going on right there. And
Sperling.
1
yeah,
hour
that
later,
was a
you
nice one.
posted the land spout, and I went, hey, look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that cloud top, eh?
Oh, yeah.
What's that? Like 45, 50,000?
You would have to
Yeah, something like
think.
that.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, here's an easy way you can check. Go to temperature, go to altitude, and see where you hit minus 60. It's like it's somewhere not even on the scale.
Oh, Mark just updated us from Boston. He said it's really coming down here now. Quite windy.
He should come on the show and do a quick live, few minutes there.
Well, now that he said he can't, he's committed to that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'd jump on the show. Just go outside,
Yeah.
show the audience what's going on in Boston.
There's his nor'easter there. Yeah, it looks all right. Sitting right there off the coast. Kind of late in the year for that sort of thing.
Gnarly.
I guess it's heading for Atlantic Canada next. So
Wasn't there some snow on the backside of it, or I thought I saw something from the National Weather Service?
I can believe
might be.
that, especially at the mountaintops there, like in New England.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just buckets of rain on the radar there. Oh yeah.
Mm. Need that over the fires in Manitoba.
Big offshore low.
Friday, thunderstorms in Alberta. Lots Colorado down on through Oklahoma into Texas.
Brandon's stealing all the storms again.
Yep. Sorry.
Here's our garbage machine. It creates garbage and throws garbage into BC, makes everything wet, mostly miserable, overcast often, up and down like we've been. I mean, there's sunlight now, but it's like every half hour it's a different thing. I went for a walk today. I just ended up climbing Island Mountain. It's like I went outside for a smoke. I was like, oh, guess I'll walk the dog. It's noisy in the neighborhood right now. And then next thing I knew, I was like halfway up Island Mountain. I was like, oh, I guess I'm climbing Island Mountain now. Just one of those things. So I got a video of that. I got premiering at 9 o'clock here on the channel too. If you don't have enough of us by then. But I found.
Did you get to the top?
Yeah, pretty much near the top there without going like, well, the thing about Island Mountain is it's like this, you know, plateau mountain with three kind of like little summits. It's like to go to the actual summit would be sort of a long time of walking through a relatively boring grade.
Ah,
So like if you're up onto the crest, you're on to like the top of the plateau of the mountain. Get the view out. Good enough hike. But found an old mine shaft up there with massive sulfides right at the gate of it, right as you go to, straight into the workings there, right?
Hmm.
So like, oh, look at this quartz vein popping out full of massive sulfides. Let's dig here.
I don't know what a massive sulfide is.
Oh, like crazy amount of pyrite in the quartz vein. Small pyrite in massive amounts, almost like
The quartz
Oh, yeah.
looks rotten because the sulfur is eating it away.
in some cases, yep. Yeah, look
Well-
at that. Another weather machine for BC here. Aren't we lucky? Look at
I was
that.
gonna say though, Joey, I enjoyed your video of you guys panning for gold a couple weeks ago. That was a good video.
Yeah, we like to do that kind of stuff. Been meaning to get back out there. The thing is that it's every week when Ian's not been working, the weather's been kind of wet out there. And it's kind of until we get a trail better built, not great country for walking straight down into a canyon if everything's soaking wet,
Yeah,
Right.
don't grab that devil's club. That is nasty shit, man.
Well, that's the thing. You have a little slip, and then you go to grab the nearest thing. And if you saw in the video, like we're just walking through a lot of Devil's Club. So
Mhm.
that kind of the idea is we want to get in there at some point and like just saw open a little trail going on down towards this claim. Then yeah, you just go test panning or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And you write it all down and make sure that when you make your report, you can say, hey, look, I did some testing here. I've been working this claim. There's work on this claim that's been done.
Very cool.
I keep bouncing my chin off this foamy thing and it's making my chin itchy. So yeah, look at we're just so lucky with the crappy weather machine, but it does at least bring some temperature for us. A little bit better on Saturday. No, maybe not.
Well,
It's
I
a
had
little
some
bit
good
better.
rewards from this. I had some good rewards from this weather where we get sprinkles of rain and then a few hours of sunshine and then some more sprinkles of rain this week. Our whole manure pile turned into a mushroom farm. I've been collecting mushrooms by the 5-gallon bucket full.
Wow.
See, here's one here.
5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, they're like, you scrape away like it's composted old hay and manure, right? You scrape away the little bit of the brown dirt and there'll be a pile of them about 10 centimeters across and about 3 centimeters deep mushrooms.
Oh.
You just dig them out and put them in a bucket and move over to the next bump and there's a bunch more.
Well, it must
Frankie's
be pretty moist though, hey, to have all those mushrooms.
Oh, it's already
Well,
after
what's
7. I didn't
happening is we're
realize.
getting little showers. And with that absorbent rotten hay, it absorbs the moisture from the little
Joey,
shower.
I
and
have
you
made
get
it.
just enough rain to make them pop.
Frankie has made it. We are here. We're ready to go live on the
Yes.
show. Hey, buddy, how's it going this week?
I'm doing great so far.
Yeah, you are. Great. Okay, I think I'm ready. Is everybody ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? Here we go.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather or not.
Yeah, the last laugh there, eh, Hank Leistra? Wow, it's the Comedeorological Report. I'm back in my normal chair of infinite knowledge up here in the Caribou Mountains, 3,953 feet above sea level. I'm Joey Only, your Caribou weather dude here. If you're watching on the YouTube, welcome to the show on the live stream. That's Joey Only, Caribou weather dude, YouTube. Every Thursday night at 6:30, generally we start broadcasting, and at 7 o'clock, Frankie joins us and we begin recording the radio show. On the radio, we are on CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince George and CKUW 95.9 Winnipeg and CFBX 92.5 Kamloops, as far as I know. Maybe there's other radio stations out there playing us. If so, cool. At least let us know. We want to be out there. We are out there. That's right. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. That's right. I'm your host, Joey Only, as I said, and I'm here with my co-host, Brandon Houck, out there in Brooks, Alberta. We got the star of the show, Frankie McDonald, the world's greatest weatherman out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia. He is that. I got special videos of Frankie here. We got videos from meteorologist Mark this week, who's down in the nor'easter. We also have joining us for a change is Justin Ortel from the Weather Center of Manitoba. It's good to have him back. Plus, we got Hank Vliestra back from Saskatchewan, and my good friend Hilding Donaldson. He's not Farmer McDonald. He's Farmer Donaldson. Let's get this straight. Cowboy Hilding Donaldson out there. After I call you my good friend, I buggered up your name, eh? What a guy. Okay, Brandon Houck says he's got breaking news. What's going on, Brandon?
Yes, I do have breaking news. This has just been confirmed 3 minutes ago. The Northern Tornadoes Project has confirmed a landspout type tornado on May 21st near Vanderhoof, BC in the interior. No damage was reported, so EF0 rating was assigned. So there you go. Tornado confirmed at Vanderhoof, BC yesterday.
Excellent work, everyone. Excellent work, Eva, who took the video there, who captured that moment. And, I've been trying to prove for years that these kinds of tornadoes are actually pretty common in the BC interior. They're generally short-lived. They're topography induced most often as the storm is moving through the land, creating eddies. So these land spouts start at the ground and work their way up, unlike a proper mesostorm, mesocyclone, tornado, thunderstorm, mesocyclonic thunderstorm. There I go. Good job, Joey. Where the tornado comes from the thunderstorm itself, comes out of the base of the thunderstorm. So land spouts are not quite the same as dust devils. They are a form of tornado, but that's cool. That's cool. It's good to hear that. But that's the kind of show we're going to have tonight. And we got Frankie McDonald. That's the problem, Hilding, is I'm always thinking Frankie McDonald, and we got Hilding Donaldson and Donald and Frankie McDonald. And Frankie McDonald, the world's greatest weatherman out in Sydney, Nova Scotia. How you doing so far, Frankie?
I'm doing great so far.
I got a compilation I put together of the videos you sent me this week.
Yes.
Yeah, we can watch that whenever you want.
Yeah, I sent you the videos.
Okay, do you want to watch them right away?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to watch Frankie this week here on the channel, everybody. Here we go, Frankie this week.
Here is me having chicken sandwich. Hey, everyone, let's do a tornado siren.
Can you yodel for us? Who has the worst weather in the world, Frankie?
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie! This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live from Sydney, Nova Scotia. The asteroid 2003 MH4 is headed towards the planet Earth on Saturday, May 24th, 2025 at 10:37 UTC. It's going to bypass the Earth. It's going to completely bypass the Earth. It's going to cause earthquakes and things like this. It's going to bypass the Earth. The asteroid 2003 MH4 is going to bypass the Earth altogether. It's going to bypass the Earth. It's not going to hit the Earth. Make sure you have your telescopes ready and binoculars ready to look up the asteroid up in the sky. The asteroid 2003 MH4 is going to completely bypass the Earth on Saturday, May 24, 2025 It's going to bypass the Earth altogether. If for everybody living on planet Earth, be prepared for the asteroid 2003 and make sure to take care. Stay safe. Don't get caught in the asteroid. Stay safe. With strong winds, it's headed towards Massachusetts on Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. It's going to bring a lot of rain, around 2 to 3 inches of rain in Boston, Massachusetts, and Provincetown, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And Cape Cod, Massachusetts, winds going to be really strong. That's going to cause big waves crash on beaches, shores, and Cape Cod is going to bring a lot of rain in Springfield, Massachusetts, and Manchester, Massachusetts, and Boston and the surrounding areas. Is going to bring a whole lot of rain. There'll be flooding. There'll be a lot of puddles in the streets in Boston and surrounding areas. It'll be too windy for an umbrella. Winds are going to be pretty strong. It's going to cause sideways rain and wind-driven rain. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in Massachusetts. I urge everyone to have your rubber boots and raincoats and rain suits ready. When you go for a walk, don't walk too far because it's going to be windy and rainy in Boston and surrounding areas on Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. It's going to bring strong winds and heavy rain in Boston and surrounding areas as well. If you everybody living in Boston, Massachusetts, be prepared for heavy rain and strong winds on Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in heavy rain. Stay dry. Be safe.
There you go, Frankie. Frankie's video report of the week. What do you think? You like my mix-up?
Yes, that's a mix-up. And weather all across North America. It's lots of rain heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia tomorrow. Then it's going to end tomorrow evening. It's going to bring lots of snow. And it's going to be a little bit of snow in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and parts of Quebec as well. There's severe weather heading for Arkansas, parts of Missouri, and Arkansas. It's going to bring chain lightning, very loud thunder, heavy downpours, large hail damage, winds, possible tornado. They got Santa Ana winds in California tomorrow, and Saturday is going to bring a lot of fires in Southern California. They got the rare Santa Ana wind event in California.
Uh-oh. What else, Frankie?
It's going to cause a lot of fires in California. It's going to bring cold temperatures in the Great Lakes region. And Jason Marshall's not doing We Don't Have Cookies podcast because Memorial Day weekend in the States. Then it got some we're going to get some more rain in Vancouver, British Columbia next week as well. Then it's going to bring lots of thunderstorms in southeastern United States next week as well. And the hurricane season starts June 1st.
Yeah, it's almost here now, isn't it?
Then the center of low pressure system is going to be over in New Brunswick on Saturday.
Yeah, I got a big storm coming towards you. That nor'easter, Frankie.
It's not going to be as bad as Boston. What about Vancouver? We're supposed to get an earthquake anytime soon.
Anytime soon. People in Vancouver, you can't escape major earthquakes forever. What else you got,
That
Frankie?
nor'easter is going to hit Toronto, too. It's going to hit Montreal, where Base Guy is.
Okay. What
Then
else,
they got
Frankie?
more severe
Worldwide
weather in
weather.
southeastern United States as well. It's really dry in Mexico, California, Santa Ana winds with Kevin Noble, the new host of Travis Happy Hour lives is going to bring lots of high winds in Southern California and cause a lot of fires there. Then lots of dry weather in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. They got showers in British Columbia as well. It's going to bring
There have been a lot of showers.
in British Columbia and the weather in Central America. This week it's going to bring lots of rain, thunderstorms in southern Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Honduras, and Panama. A lot of rain, thunderstorms in forecast. There's a Pacific hurricane going to develop, possible some next week. It could be a hurricane aimed towards west coast of Mexico.
Oh,
Thunderstorms in the forecast of Venezuela, Colombia, and northern Brazil, including lots of rain and thunderstorms in Colombia, parts of Peru, parts of Bolivia, parts of Ecuador, and Venezuela. It's really dry in northern Chile right now. In southern Chile, lots of rain in coast areas of southern Chile, lots of snow up in the mountains. It's really cold in southern Argentina and Falkland Islands. It's getting drier in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, but little showers in forecast. Really hot and it's really dry, and you got some wet weather heading towards Argentina this Saturday coming. Parts of Argentina, we got warm air, cold air fighting each other in Argentina. And did you hear about that? There's a big windstorm heading for the United Kingdom on Sunday. European windstorm heading towards UK.
Gonna be a bad one, is it, Frankie?
It's going to hit England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland.
Be prepared, UK.
It's going to bring lots of snow up in Norway and parts of Finland, parts of Sweden, and rain in the coast areas of Norway. Then it got cold air heading towards Germany, Poland, and all those places. And it got lots of rain in northern Algeria right now in thunderstorms. And it got some hot weather and got some warm weather in Spain and Portugal. Then it got really hot weather in Morocco and all those places. It's really hot weather in Libya right now, in Egypt and all those places, and getting hotter in Turkey right now. Lots of showers and thunderstorms in Greece this Sunday coming, including Albania and Belarus and Moscow, Russia. Then it gets a really hot air heading towards Moscow, Russia next week as well. And the weather all across East Asia, like there's this big storm hitting for Japan on this Saturday coming. A lot of rain heading towards Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and all those places. In Sapporo, Japan, a lot of rain, thunderstorms going on in southern China, including Wuhan, China. It's really hot, and it's going to get hotter in northern China as well. It's getting warm, really hot in Mongolia right now. Siberia, Russia, starting to get hot weather up in Siberia too. Then it got to snow middle of next week in Siberia, Russia too. Hot air and cold air fighting each other in Siberia. And Papua New Guinea had a 6.6 magnitude earthquake earlier in the week.
Well, that's a big earthquake.
And it got lots of rain and showers and thunderstorms in Hong Kong right now. There's a lot of rain and thunderstorms in the Philippines right now, Cambodia, including Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. There's so much rain going on there right now. In Indonesia and Singapore and Malaysia, a lot of rain and thunderstorms going on right now. India is soon in the monsoon season. A lot of rain and thunderstorms going on in southern India right now. In India's summer comes to an end next month. They'll be transitioning from summer to monsoon season. It's really hot in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and all those countries. It's really hot in the Middle East right now.
It's pretty hot in Oman and United Arab Emirates, I see. Yeah, 30 degrees
in
there.
Qatar, Yemen, Oman, and all those places. And Israel's really hot there right now. It's really hot in Sahara Desert in Africa right now. It's a lot of rain and thunderstorms going on in Nigeria and Ghana right now. A lot of rain and thunderstorms in Nigeria and Ghana right now. Then it gets a little bit of rain in parts of Sahara Desert too.
34 degrees in Niger right now.
What?
Almost as hot as Winnipeg last week.
Angola is in the dry season. Mozambique is now in the dry season. Little shouts to the forecast. It's in the dry season. Mozambique right now. Botswana is now in the dry season. Zimbabwe, Zambia is in the dry season. Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, northern parts, and parts of Uganda is in the wet season right now. And Kenya is in the wet season. Mozambique is now in dry season, and a little bit of showers and forecast. So Madagascar, La Reunion, and Mauritius Islands, they're now in the dry season because Southern Hemisphere winter starts on June 20th. There's a big storm off the coast heading towards Australia. And New South Wales, Australia on Monday is going to bring lots of rain and wind in Sydney, Australia next week. Yeah, then it got cold air heading for southeastern Australia as well because their winter's coming. And same with Tasmania. And Melbourne and Brisbane is going to bring lots of rain in the forecast. And Perth, Australia is going to get rain in the forecast as well because their winter starts on June 20th in Perth, Australia. It's going to bring lots of rain in the forecast there too. It's good. There's a big storm next Tuesday heading towards the desert areas in central Australia. Then they got a lot of rain heading towards central areas of Australia in the desert areas.
Southeast side of Australia is getting a lot of thunderstorms right now. Really raining hard there. 19 degrees Celsius.
Yeah,
on the,
there's a lots of rain and thunderstorms heading towards northern South Island, New Zealand, like Nelson, New Zealand, Great Oak, New Zealand. And then they got lots of rain heading towards. Then they got another big storm going to be off the coast of New Zealand next Wednesday as well. There's a big storm coming off the coast of Australia next week. It's going to bring lots of rain in Auckland, New Zealand next week. And then Invercargill, New Zealand is going to bring really cold air in Invercargill, New Zealand next Friday as well, including Dunedin, New Zealand, Christchurch, New Zealand, all those places in the southern hemisphere.
I heard it's dark 24 hours a day in Antarctica, Frankie.
It's 24 hours of darkness in Antarctica right now. Then it gets some really dry weather to start off on Friday and Saturday in New Zealand, including Auckland, New Zealand. Then it got rain heading towards New Zealand this Sunday coming in. southern northern South Island, New Zealand as well. Up in the Arctic, it's 24-hour daylight, and the Antarctic is 24-hour darkness. And did you hear about this? There's an asteroid headed towards the Earth on Saturday.
Is it going to bypass the Earth
Yeah,
altogether?
that's going to trigger a lot of earthquakes.
Could. Yeah, it could. If it's a big enough asteroid. I don't know if it's a big enough one. Don't know if it's a big enough one. Does anyone got questions for Frankie here on the panel?
Yes.
I know Brandon Hauk always has a question for Frankie.
Yes.
Frankie, a question for Frankie. What are you going to be doing tomorrow in the rain and the nor'easter? You're going to be outside?
I work at the big farm mall tomorrow. Nor'easter's not going to last long here. It's going to end early.
Okay.
Not only that, it's going to be an earthquake somewhere in the world tomorrow. And Vancouver's supposed to get some warm weather and cold weather as well. And for Vancouver, BC, Canada. And I got news for Vancouver's weather.
Frankie,
It's going to bring cooler weather in Vancouver, BC.
I was surprised to hear how much snow there is in a lot of different places you mentioned coming up. Do you know where it snowed in the USA this past week?
That nor'easter is going to bring
saw-
snow parts of Quebec. It's going to bring cold temperatures in Bay Skies, hometown Montreal, and Toronto. It's going to bring cold weather in Jason Marshall's hometown.
I saw it snowed in the state of South Dakota.
People in Vancouver, you can't escape from major earthquakes forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what else? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Hank. I just had to pull the trigger on the clip. Just go for
All
it.
good.
Oof. People in Vancouver, you can't escape from major earthquakes forever, right, Frankie?
Yeah.
Anyone else got a question for Frankie McDonald here on the panel?
Well, I was going to ask, how many times have you been to Popeyes so far, Frankie?
I've been to Popeyes 3 times.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Chicken burger's your favorite, eh, Frankie?
Yeah.
You won't eat the shrimp, though, will you?
No.
Do you like the biscuit, Frankie?
Yes. It was great.
Yeah, I like the biscuit myself.
Where's
It's a nice
Imogen?
touch. I don't know. I haven't seen her in a while. I guess she was on last week. She was like, Joey's not on. Time to go on the show. That was probably it. Any last questions for Frankie? It could be your last question. Okay, then. Brandon Hauk.
Yes. I'm here. I just got a funny email.
The Brandon Hauk Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Hauk Report.
Brought to you by
Smoking Good Barbecue.
the Brandon Hauk Report.
Smoking good barbecue is right. By the way, I had some smoking good barbecue this week. It was really, really good smoking good barbecue. And yes, I am going to be judging the Smoker Wars in next month here. So there's going to be a lot of talk about smoking good barbecue around here in the next month. So be prepared.
Well, you're lucky you're a radio personality because, every time you've been a part of an eating contest, you've come in last and you're very skinny. And, if I'm looking for a guy to judge my food, I'd be kind of looking for someone a little larger. It looks like he's spends more time eating.
Oh, yeah. I end up taking all my leftovers home. That's how much food there is.
Well, I was going to say, you kind of look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. He eats a lot and he stays skinny, so...
Oh, yeah. We kind of we're pretty much the same people, yeah.
Yeah,
I got a funny email just now, too.
I trust your taste buds, and but they're like, we'll get that guy because he's on the radio, and that's good for business.
Oh, yeah. They want me to stick around the whole weekend, too, so we'll see what happens.
Holy.
It's a lot of food.
Big time. This is big time.
So I just got this funny email, just came over my work email here just 2 seconds ago. And somebody submitted the birthday here. And they submitted, this is birthday going out to Brayley Stewart, who likes to sniff farts. And who likes farts? You like farts. So that made me laugh. That email just popped up over my work email there. I'm totally going to read that on the radio tomorrow morning. So, guys who sent me that email, better be listening. That's right.
Well,
Speaking
like
of,
most job sites are like, let's have a discussion about appropriate emails. But for radio, it's like, here's a good one for the show tomorrow. You gotta love that. You gotta love
show
that
prep
work
right there.
environment.
Show prep.
That's what I want.
It's great. Wonderful stuff. Okay. Speaking of show prep, I do have show prep for tonight, by the way. I had a little help by a friend of chat. Oh, some random person wrote in for the show. And they wrote a nice message for us. So I'm going to read that here coming up in just a few moments once I find it. So I did a lot of them. There we go. Found it. Okay. Before I get to that, we'll go through the weather story here for the week. We've had a little bit on the unsettled side of things. We've had pop-up showers, random showers, hit and miss activity. So some areas got showers, some areas didn't. Other areas are going to get some showers tomorrow. Other areas are not. That's that kind of pulse-like activity for the last week with this upper trough that's been swinging through here, keeping things on the cool and a bit on the unsettled side with some random thunderstorms. Now, we also, as we mentioned, there was a landspout tornado yesterday at Vanderhoof, BC. And earlier this week, there was another landspout tornado near Maple Creek, Saskatchewan. That was confirmed from This Time Environment Canada there. They confirmed that earlier this week. I think it's getting a rating EF0 as well. So it doesn't look like anybody found any damage from that, but they're still looking because I think that one was kind of in the trees there at Cypress Hills. So we'll see if we do get a rating on that one as we look ahead into the future forecaster there. And then, so that was earlier this week there with the convective activity popping up. There's been the chance of funnel clouds here and there, random funnel clouds outside of Ponoka as well. And some areas got a pretty good amount of rain in Alberta this week. So that's been pretty good, but that's going to change after tomorrow as we have yet another chance of scattered thunderstorms from all the way northern Alberta right down to southern Alberta through Friday, which is going to be the 23rd of May there. And then we've got the ridge starting to build in as we go through the weekend here, and the heat's going to start to build. So we'll be back to the 20s for the weekend, and by next week, low to mid 20s. And there will be some chances of random thunderstorms here and there, but so far, the chances are pretty much on the low side. But yeah, ridge of high pressure is going to be dominating the weather forecast picture well into next week. All right. Now, so we got a complaint yesterday. And I would say it's pretty wild complaint here to the Comedeorological report here. So I'm going to read it aloud here, just like I read that email before I started my segment here. So here we go. This is a big roast to the Comedeorological report. My goodness. Okay, here it goes. Oh, the Comedeorological report. The perfect storm of dad jokes and Doppler radar. Well, let's cook. The Comedeorological report is like if the Weather Channel and a middle school talent show had a baby and then left it out in the category 5 cringe storm. It's the only show where the weather isn't the joke. It's just the setup. Half the time, you're not sure if you're watching a forecast or an open mic night at a truck stop. Seriously, it's the only place where a cold front and a cold pun hit you at the same time. And somehow the pun leaves more damage. If laughter is the best medicine, this show is off-brand knockoff you find at the dollar store. Weird label, questionable results. It makes you wonder, who approved this?
Wow, what a great review.
Yeah, I'd say great review.
I think awesome. They like this. To put that much thought into us, they must have loved us. Yeah, that seems great. Great review, yeah. I mean, I basically exist to take abuse. You know how it is when you're a punching bag from the world. Even the robots.
Even the robots
shine their lights down upon you, disapprovingly. Brandon Houck report. Great job there, Brandon. Great job. Thank you for all your service to the show here. Okay. Hank Vliestra, you've been walking out in the sunshine, and I kind of want to go to you just because you're walking around out in the sunshine here. What's going on in Saskatchewan there? Hank Vliestra there in Wilkie. You are on mute, by the way, too. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. Hank Vliestra.
I can't hit that. I had to try 5 times before I hit unmute successfully. Sorry. It is finally some half decent warmth after a very, very cold spell. We had 4 days in a row, the whole weekend, the whole long weekend, and all the way through Wednesday. So it was almost a week of very cold, unsettled weather.
Yeah, that sucks.
I did enjoy the rain because we need the rain, but I was getting a little eager for a little bit more warmth. So today we hit 17 Celsius, which is fine. We had probably 5 days in a row where we didn't even hit double digits temperatures. So this is nice. And I saw that in a very nice picture from Dree Irwin of that tornado a few days ago near Maple Creek in the Cypress Hills. He took a very high quality picture of that. A very nice photogenic small tornado in Saskatchewan earlier this week. Here we're not supposed to be getting any storms until maybe next week. Maybe next week, Tuesday or something like that, if I remember right. And even then, it's a little bit iffy. So we'll see.
Everything just so mega boring this week all of a sudden, eh? It's like we just caught it, like the time for not much for weather stories, eh? It's it happened to be today. I'm just looking at my Diggy's Diner weather station here. I'm looking at monthly mode, and the warmest I've hit in Wells this month is 15.
Wow.
And I've bottomed out at 2. So that's not too bad. We've definitely had Mays where we've gotten, we've been colder than 2 degrees.
Yeah, I know. That feels so cold. Like I saw a thing like recently where 2 degrees in March and people are running around in their shorts going, "This is glorious." Then 2 degrees in May and we're all like, "Oh my God." You know what I mean?
Wait a second. I had a mistake here. I had a mistake in my readings. That was weekly mode, sorry. The highest I've been this month was 23. But what's telling is that was like Friday the 2nd of May. And then we've been steadily down. And so our low has actually been minus 5.2. I was incorrect. As I was reading it, I was like, this seems weird to me. And then I realized I was on weekly mode. So the warmest I've seen this week is 15. That was probably today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, just crappy weather, man, all around. It's been we so deserve a warm up in Western Canada, at least, I think.
Well, I mean, it probably helped a lot with the fire situation.
It did temporarily, but here's Justin Ortel to explain to us that fires are beginning to wake up again in Manitoba already. It hasn't taken very long for the ones that weren't doused completely by the water, by the rain, to successfully reignite themselves. They're coming out of the ground.
Yeah, well, it's definitely boring weather now in Manitoba, but it's been, I'll say that the last week or two has been 2 words to say: weather whiplash. It's been quite a roller coaster. We had Emerson, Manitoba, become the earliest date in all of Canada to reach 100 Fahrenheit, which is 37 something Celsius, last week. And then, yeah, that really got the fires going at first there. And then eventually it did. We got a very strong cold front come through after the historic record heat, and then that brought some snow to areas like Gimli, Manitoba, the Interlake region, and then we had kind of like what Hank was saying in his province. We had about a week without sunshine, unsettled, lots of rain. But unfortunately, the rain did not really hit the areas that really needed it across eastern Manitoba. The White Shell area, parts of that park are still closed from those fires, and there's actually a couple of folks that died. They got trapped in the wildfire and tragically passed away. So that is devastating and really sad. Um, and
What is
then
it?
and then we had yeah, the unsettled period of weather, and then finally I am very happy, like Hank is, that the sunshine returned today. After definitely a week of rainfall. I'm in Brandon, Manitoba. For those of you who don't know, we had about 3 inches of rain, or I had 3 inches of rain in my rain gauge, which is 75 millimeters. But again, the areas that had and that have the raging wildfires across eastern Manitoba only had about 5 to maybe 10 millimeters of rain at most. So there was kind of a dry pocket between western Manitoba and then south of the border, and then over in northwestern Ontario, the areas where the fires are, there was quite a dry slot. So not great news. But yeah, it's nice to see the sun
10
again.
mils is 10 mils basically nothing on a fire.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And then now we've seen the fires reignite, and I think they're coming for revenge after that week of kind of cooler weather. And then the outlook for Manitoba over the next 2 weeks is plenty of sunshine, high pressure dominating like Alberta, moving east through the eastern prairies, and the temperatures are going to be on the rise gradually over the next week or two. So it's really terrible news in terms of any type of weather coming to douse those fires. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're just going to get worse and worse. And I hate to say it, but that's the news I have for everyone right now.
I'm also here too, Joey, if you wanted to have me on, talk a little bit about
It's Weather Center of Manitoba time.
We'll stay in Manitoba, Mike. Okay.
So, Justin, you were talking about the wildfire situation here. Some of the smoke has drifted into our region of Winnipeg. It's weird is that it's in the upper levels. So the smoke that we're supposed to get here is actually high enough up that it's not infiltrating the lower levels. So the smoke that has drifted in the city is not actually like affecting the air quality. So that's a positive thing. I was to mention too, it was brutal hot here last week, and it's actually I'm upset, disappointed that they're not getting the rain that they need in the east because it's super lush green here. The grass is moist. Our grass in our backyard is probably more lush this year than it was last year at this point. So that's a good thing. But I was looking ahead of the long range. It does look like we have some potential chances at thunderstorms towards the 31st to the 2nd of June, or even after that period. I think the Gulf of Mexico is going to light up as we get into early June to mid June for us. So hopefully these fires don't get too extreme, but it has been cooler than average here, cloudier than average to be expected. But I think our max today was only about 23 degrees. I have my temperature thing outside now. So, but yeah, it's not looking too good for us. And I hope that this fire doesn't grow to reach Winnipeg. I don't want it to be fire apocalypse coming on the Weather Comedian show next week and saying, "Oh, geez, there's a massive fire coming to Winnipeg."
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're saying that the smoke's getting to the upper levels, that's probably a bad sign for the fire behavior. You know, that it's really raging and it's really prevailing convection higher. Right.
Yeah,
So
that
you know what I'm
smoke looks
saying.
thick on the satellite, really thick tonight.
Yeah. So I mean that's a big sign of how hot things are. The higher that smoke can get up there, generally, right? Generally,
I didn't know that.
you know, just think about convection as you know it, right? Well, what in this case, it's not ground heating from the sun causing the convection. It's the ground is hot. causing
Yeah,
convection.
well, I actually failed to mention earlier that those fires, when they were first starting to spark up last week with that historic heat, there was some pyrocumulus that happened as well. And I know you and I were talking about that, Joey. We were talking about that with the fires that were just on the western side of Lake Manitoba. So there's been multiple fires this spring already causing pyrocumulus. So that also tells you this fire behavior is out of control.
Well, those were actually pyrocumulonimbus because they are producing lightning.
Right.
So
Thank you for
pyrocumulus
that.
would be just your normal
Right.
stack of smoke cloud going off, right?
Pyrocumulonimbus, yeah, which is
When it turns into
insane.
lightning.
Insane.
And
Yeah.
and I maintain that it's actually much more common than people realize.
Right.
You know, sometimes what's not as common is when you can see it directly, where you're like,
Mhm.
holy cow, this fire is making a thunderstorm right here, right
Right.
now. Like in a very, but more like in the case you saw where uh, some weather's moving over. This is kind of the different one where it's not like just self-creating thunderstorm, but this is weather. So, you know, an area of moisture and whatnot was moving over
Yeah.
clouds and whatnot. It came over that hot area, which helped give extra convection, like I was just saying to Mike,
Yeah.
and that propelled the clouds just tall enough to then become active thunderstorms.
It absolutely accelerated those over, like, I think it was Ericsdale or whatever in the interlake east of those fires. And that day, though, that specific storm was the only one that was like producing lots of lightning, looked really strong. There were others, but they were very weak compared to that one.
That one overproduced, and it overproduced because it crossed that heat source that
Yeah.
fueled it. So I see that often, but then the thing is, generally what happens is the storm moves off and becomes active, and people don't necessarily equate, oh, that is a result of that fire. Much in the same way that people don't like think about when you have a major airport, whatever, you know, you got all this tarmac space, and it's creating heat, it's creating thermals, it's creating heat rising because there's like extra cement there. You know what I'm saying? Like extra tarmac.
Yeah.
So like you'll sit there in the distance and watch over a city, the city itself be the driving force of convection. It's like, so I maintain, well, if that's the case, like even a city or an airport can help propel a cloud that might not produce into being a producer.
Yep. That happens in
Thunderstorm nerding out with Joey.
Brandon, Manitoba all the time. Line of storms comes, it dies right as it enters the city, and then blows up right at the east end of the city.
Yeah, exactly right. There's
Yeah.
just more. All that heat is rising from the city. The city is a producer of heat.
That hasn't been happening in Winnipeg lately. Actually, last 2 weeks ago, a thunderstorm popped up right over downtown and slammed St. James. So I think the urban heat island effect can cause storms to pop up or die out depending on the atmosphere that's in play at the day.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? Sometimes the extra heat isn't what it needs. But I gotta go to Hilding here quickly here because we still I got a video from Mark to put on tonight too. I don't want to go too late that we missed that opportunity. So let's roll over to Hilding Donaldson out there in Grassy Plains. Grassy Plains. I think he doesn't realize he's on mute, so I'll just do this for a second. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the Hilding one. Where are you, Hilding? Okay, Hilding Donaldson, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Yeah, like you said, we've been having some chilly weather. Every day we've been having a few hours of warmth, enough to make it feel like spring, but not enough to really warm things up. And then lots of showers blowing through. I haven't really seen any thunder showers that are like with lightning. It's been more soft, light showers. Some were pretty heavy falls of rain, but not the big gathering of clouds that creates the lightning storms, which we're glad for.
No,
We
that's
don't
been
want any
kind of more
fire.
east of you whenever it has been happening for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've been getting watching the grass just pop. I mean, it's we're certain we're getting hay. I mean, if we started mowing hay now, we'd have something to collect, which is more than we've had the past 2 years. So yes, we are getting the moisture we need this year. I mean, the forecast says that we might not get any real steady heat until July, which might not be too bad because if we keep getting these little showers, the hay will keep to grow. And then it'll be ready to start growing just when we start mowing, and it'll pop while we're mowing rather than drying up. Last year we started mowing and immediately the hay started to dry up on the stalks. So that's basically, I was out on the fence line today and it was amazing how fast the bushes are growing this year. Like rose bushes and nettles. And I got a tear in my pants and my knee is just stinging from walking through stinging nettles.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah,
actually
I
have
feel
water in
like
the creek this year too.
January's a thing, like it's that upper level low pattern's been just sitting off not too far from you, Hilding, and
Oh yeah.
right now it's shoveling just, sort of unsettled conditions into the province. And,
Yeah.
we have a little bit of a warm up coming, but it's not much. It's just, moments of warmth. Better, it's a little better than it was. Holy, yeah, it's not been great. It's not
Well,
been that
the
great at
worst
all.
thing that I don't like about it is the wind we've been getting, blustery winds. Because blustery winds are they dry things out at the same time as you just got them wet,
Yeah, exactly.
Calves will never be delicate and friendly, even though
Talking to Hilding Donaldson here on the show, Comedeorological Report. I'm Joey Only, your host, and you're hearing us on C for 88.7 FM, CQW 95.9 FM, CFPX 92.5, and of course on Joey Only Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube channel. Are you guys ready to see Mark Goes to Harvard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got video from meteorologist Mark tonight. Mark Goes to Harvard. I put this together just before the show.
Hello, everyone. I just got the fat check for pushing that.
My name Mark Ingalls.
Pushing that agenda. It says here, HARP, climate change, whatever, in my bank account.
This is Acalia. Hello, everyone. Mark Ingalls here in White Rock. Today is Saturday, May 17. I'm not going to be on the show this week because I'm in Boston for work, but look at this.
Where are we?
Baby Araya.
And her baby Araya. Araya's a doll for the radio listeners. What are we doing here?
I don't know.
We're kind of just walking around.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Hello, everyone. Mark Ingalls here at MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'm here for a conference, but right now I'm walking to go find my first geocache in Massachusetts before heading over to dinner with the company. Tomorrow we're looking at a nor'easter. Today's Wednesday, so you'll be hearing this obviously after the fact, but tomorrow we're looking at a nor'easter. I'm very excited. I even have my Kestrel with me. Hopefully I'll have some time to get some good video, and hopefully my power doesn't go out. First visit to New England comes with my first nor'easter, and it's May. I even packed long johns. I mean, you guys that live in Winnipeg are probably going to laugh at me, but I live in Vancouver for a reason.
We're in Cambridge.
We're in Cambridge.
Hello again, Comedeorologist. Mark Ingalls back. Joey's probably playing these back-to-back, so I don't know why I keep introducing myself, but we took a detour. Earlier today I was at MIT, and boy, there was a lot of math going on. Thought I'd be done with that when I got my degree, but I guess that's what I get for going to a prestigious school. Anyway, right now I am at the old burial ground. We're still in Cambridge, which is kind of a suburb of Boston, I guess. So this is from the 17th century. We don't really have history like this on the West Coast, at least not written down. Of course, there's a lot of First Nations history. But yeah, we're at Harvard. I didn't know Harvard was only like 2 kilometers from MIT, so we hopped on the train, came over here. We're in the middle of the nor'easter, but the low center tracked further offshore than forecast originally. Originally, it was kind of looking like it would track right over Cape Cod, and now it's a little offshore. So we do have a little bit of wind. But, in a built-up area like this, that wind doesn't really get realized at the surface. It's been raining all day, though. Very pleasant weather, probably about 10 degrees. I'm pretty much the only person enjoying it, but that's everybody else's problem.
It's doing rain and storm.
Rain and stormy, that's right. Do you like this kind of weather?
Yes.
It's another 3 minutes later, and I'm coming to you from Harvard Yard, which is pretty neat. Some neat brick architecture. I know nothing about this place other than it's on Harvard and it has a yard. And it's raining. I do know that, of course. It's pretty neat, all this older architecture. I don't think we could have this on the West Coast because of the earthquake risk. I don't know how old these buildings are, but they look old. They seem like they're probably old. Oh, here's a sign. Maybe I'll go look at it. Bear with me while I observe the sign. Oh, there was a Native American college here from 1655 to 1698 on this spot. Who knows what kind of atrocities they committed here. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe that was before the atrocities. I don't really know. Maybe I should know my American history a little bit better as an American. Anyway, so here we are. All these old buildings and then a bright blue Honda SUV. You want it to be sunny tomorrow?
Yes.
I have bad news. You know, for somebody visiting MIT, I sure am sending a lot of videos from Harvard. Back again at Harvard. I was just over there on the other side of the road. But look at this. It's a branch down. I don't know if it came down from the wind or something else, but it's definitely snapped and not sawed off, and it definitely happened recently. I'd like to think that happened today, just to feel like the weather's a little more spicy than it kind of is. My wife was getting on to me for saying 10 was very pleasant. She says 15 is very pleasant and 10 is just pleasant. I don't think it's going to be sunny tomorrow.
I don't think so either, but I want it to be.
Yes. Well, that's how it goes. Can you say bye to the people? Sorry, I'm turning the show into a travel log. Oh, yeah, for the radio listeners, it's like a stone monument with a statue of, I think that's Abraham Lincoln. I don't know. I'm looking at him from the side. Also, maybe this is bad of me to say, but like at a certain point, all statues kind of look the same.
Bye-bye.
Meteorologist Mark Engel at Harvard today. He's at Harvard.
Oh man, his daughter's so cute.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, eh?
Yeah.
Mark's pretty cute too.
I can't leave him out.
Runs in the family, eh? Yeah. Karen Richards has joined us from Prince George here while the Mark show is going on. Karen, we haven't seen you in a little. I haven't seen you in a little while, at least. How you doing?
I'm doing good. A little late tonight. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's not like no one was hurt.
Well, been freezing in my home, so I'm like kind of hibernating because the weather sucks.
It does, man. I've been feeling that. We've had a lot of below zero nights here in Wells.
Sucky.
Yeah, there's a lot of nights where it's like yeah. It's spring somewhere else, not here for you, not here at all. But yeah, congratulations on the hibernation. I totally get it. Okay, Mark, Gary's saying swing by the Cheers Bar in Boston and have a beer for Norm. George went, who we lost earlier this week. Yeah, George went. Remember George went? Where did George? He went. Where did he go? He went. George. He went to the other side. George went. There he is. We got Peter's tuning in from Quesnel. Right. Shelley says pyrocumulonimbus. Now say that 3 times fast. Okay. Pyrocumulonimbus, 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 pyrocumulonimbus. Challenge accepted. There you go. Great siren, Frankie, says Della Davidson. And there we go. I hit the record button, by the way. That is good. Hi, Helen. By the way, Mark did mention his Kestrel. Did you guys see what my wonderful, amazing, lovely viewer got me?
I did. Yeah. That's awesome.
So I'm now armed with the Fireweather Pro, which is a huge upgrade. Not just, even if you took my old Kestrel and if it was still working, this would still be, working properly. Like it works. It's just that the dial on my new one, look how easy that one spins. It could,
yeah,
very easy, right? My other one was like kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'll spin. Until you get to about like 5K an hour, then it'd be like, oh, there I go. And then it's like saying 3K an hour. I'm like, no, it's 5 or 6K. So like, even if that was working properly, if it wasn't just so old and worn out in the spindle there, whatever, I'm like blocking my face to everybody. This would still be a huge upgrade over that model. First of all, that other one's like really big. It's got a couple things I like about the other one. But look at this is just poof. I don't know what you guys do. You guys have Kestrels? Who does? I know Mark does. I'm sure Brandon, you probably have a Kestrel, don't you?
Actually, I don't. No.
Ooh, no Kestrel.
I
for
want
Brandon.
one so badly. I want one.
I should get one. I have money, but I just haven't bought one.
How much are
I
they
use my
usually?
hair.
Hank's the only one of us with money, and he still doesn't have one.
How much are they usually? I'm getting a whole bunch of money in a little bit, so
$500-600 for a pro one.
Yeah, for this one, you can get slightly less expensive models for sure that are useful. But you know, the Fireline Pro, certainly if I'm going to end up using it on a Fireline ever, and I do a lot of talk about fire weather and things like that. You know, I'm always trying to educate people on fire weather, so it's like that's the thing. You know, it's the weather.
Yeah, you got a good one. It's worth like $800. I was checking it out earlier in the day.
Wow.
they also have handheld lightning trackers. I saw it way back in the day. They have some device that scans your area. You have to hold it a certain way, and it's able to detect if there's a squall or a multi-cell thunderstorm coming your way and where the closest lightning strike was. It's for industries and for firefighters too.
Used to see kind of like little things like that in the 90s. You know, if I saw a few things like that that were kind of, you know, transportable weather, like for camping or whatever. But you know, that's I don't know. I'm surprised that I'm the only one. Well, Mark has a Kestrel, so I'm not the only one. Frankie, you don't have a Kestrel, do you?
What?
Yeah, you don't have a Kestrel, do you?
Kestrel, what's that mean?
Now, this is a Kestrel, Frankie.
I don't have it. I have a weather station upstairs.
Do you? So this is a Kestrel, Frankie, and it does everything you want it to do. Let's see.
In your
Let me turn it
hand.
on. It's the 5500 Fire Pro, yeah. So on here I got temperature, humidity, and wind speed on my startup screen. That's my most important screen to me, what I care about the most. But I can go through here. I got air pressure. It's got my altitude almost dialed completely. It's really close at least. It works as a compass, Frankie. It's got a compass on it there. So I can, which direction am I facing and getting the wind from? It will tell me. I don't have to with my old one, I'd use my phone, the compass in the phone. Be like, okay, well, the wind's coming from this direction, which is, because you're from some place you don't necessarily know all that well. It's us. It's us
Okay, well,
southwest.
I said I had money for a Kestrel, but Justin, I don't have that kind of money.
Well, I was looking on the cheapest model that just shows you wind, temperature, stuff like that. I think it's like 150.
That I have.
Like the base model.
Yeah.
Yeah, ones that would suffice for what you want to do out in the field, at least for just chasing storms.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one has dew point, wet bulb. I've just been going through like lists of things it's measuring sitting in my house since I've turned it on. It's 1007.7 hectopascals in my house, which is a little bit higher than it is outside apparently. See that?
Well, the best thing that I have is a portable weather station out. Like it measures temperature, humidity, dew point, heat index, and apparently it's got an alarm so you can set for alarms for high and low temp and high and low humidity. It's annoying and beeps every second. I think my mom might have got it off Amazon or something. And all I have is a wireless rain gauge in the back. So I think I gotta do some upgrading.
Well, that's cool though. You have more than a lot of weather nerds have, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, we're coming to the end of the radio broadcast, at least. Frankie, how do people find you if they want to find you on the internet?
If you want to follow me on social media, my blue sky is at Frankie MacD. My Twitter now X is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. And my threads is at FrankieMacD94. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is FrankieMacD94. My TikTok is FrankDon94. My Clapper is FrankDon94. My Twitch is FrankDon94. My Snapchat is FrankieMCDON. My YouTube channel is Doc Zuos, and my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. Best luck there. I'm Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And guess what? Base Guy Show tomorrow night at 11:50 p.m. Atlantic, 10:50 p.m. Eastern, 9:50 p.m. Central.
The base guy is back. Outlaw is asking in the questions there. What do you guys think of the handheld lightning detectors? I've never seen one personally.
I know. My weather station detects lightning too.
Does it? That's great. Mine doesn't. I wish mine did. What do you know something about this, Brandon?
I use my phone.
There you go. You know how I used to
my lightning
detect
radar.
You know how I used to detect lightning, and I've actually used this on the fire line even too, is you don't even have to be tuned into an AM station. You can just put it on the AM radio on the static and listen for the snap of the lightning. But if you can tune into stations, sometimes it can help you triangulate where that lightning is. If you're in a place like the prairies where there's radio stations in many directions.
Earlier the week they had a big hailstorm somewhere in the States, like Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas, where Donna Mantis is. They had a huge hailstorm where Donna Mantis is.
Huge hailstorm. How big, Frankie? Golf balls?
Golf ball to baseball size hail.
Holy, the baseballs, yeah.
And I just saw something too, that a dust storm traveled to Chicago from the Midwest, something that hasn't been seen since the 1930s.
Yeah, well, there's like a lot of things like the 1930s going on in the world, so it just, makes sense that the weather would return.
You're funny, Joey. The thing that I was looking for was the Thunderbolt lightning detector. That's what it's called, Thunderbolt handheld lightning detector.
How much does that cost?
I'm gonna have to have a look, but it's probably well within $1,000. The last time I saw it was $500.
$1,000. Jeez, I use
What,
Radar
just
Scope
for-
Pro. It's only $100. Shows me
Just
lightning
for
strike.
something, yeah, just for something that detects
And
lightning.
I heard that Trevor is up in heaven now, and Kevin Noble, Irving, and all those guys that Trevor's happy hour, they're getting hit by Santa Ana winds.
Yeah, Trevor Garner passed away there a couple weeks back, and it's like everyone was talking to him, and then suddenly he was gone. There was a lot of
And
deaths in my life.
That means that Kevin
last
Noble, aka Irving, took Trevor's place.
Yeah, the show must go on, I guess, eh? Maybe that's what Trevor wanted.
Irving is the new host.
Irving's a new host. Well,
He got the RGB lights in the studio.
he's got the 16 million colors in his studio, does he? Oh boy,
Yes.
That's great. That's great. That's rich. Well, the live stream is going to continue, but the radio broadcast ends now. We'll see you next week there, everybody in the radio.
That's the show.
There goes the radio.
I was too late.
As soon as you say that's the show, though, Frankie's gone. Sometimes we trick him into staying longer.
Oh no, Frankie, come back!
By just not saying that's the show. Say that, he's like,
he doesn't want to miss anything, like don't want to miss it.
He's like, okay, well, that's it. I'm out of here.
I'm done.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
Karen, have you been having any good recipes lately?
Oh, I do have a few. Yeah,
Oh.
I've been doing real good lately with my cooking, and yeah, I got some amazing ones.
That's good.
I
Now
will
we missed,
share them soon.
Now it's like the loosen the belt time of the day.
Yeah.
Well, I'm making some lemon and blueberry muffins this weekend and some lemon sugar cookies because I got a whole bunch of lemon juice that I've got to use up at home.
Man, I looked in the dumpster the other day in Wells, and someone threw a whole box of lemons out, and they look kind of normal. And I was like, who has a whole box of lemons in Wells and is throwing a whole box of lemons out?
That's
it seems
weird.
So weird. It's
Yeah.
I want to find out how Mark's meal was last week.
Usually you'd put that like in the share shed, and everybody in town would be like, holy cow, a box of lemons. That's unusual, but it's in the share shed. So And you know what comes with the Kestrel, by the way? You might not realize this totally makes it worth the. They up their game with this one. They give you a sticker too. See the sticker? Oh no, my head's in the way. It's that bird thing behind me that I don't know how to point to.
I'm trying to zoom
You
in.
get a sticker. You get a sticker, so that's like their way of saying thank you, and I love it. It's a great sticker.
It's a
Snow
great
is good
name,
sticker.
Kestrel. I love like the bird Kestrel. It's one of my favorite birds. It's very beautiful.
Well,
was
what's
just
crazy
looking-
is you don't call a wind gauge something else. It's like you have a Kestrel. Well, it's not made, but it's Accurite, but it's you call it the Kestrel. It's like Scotch tape, right? Every transparent tape is Scotch tape. Can you pass me the Scotch tape?
Right. Yeah.
Like, well, that isn't Scotch tape. That's transparent tape. That and it's the same with cheesies too, right?
It's
oh,
the brand.
Man,
There's
I
only
love
one
cheesies.
cheesies.
Cheetos and Hawkins cheesies. I love those things.
Yeah, but Cheetos is not cheesies. But people will say, "Hey, pass me the cheesies. Let's go get some cheesies." I'm like, "No, that's a cheese snack. That thing you have."
Yeah. So, Hilding, question for you. You still got some calves coming, or?
I think we're down to about 5 left.
Okay. There's the cheesies.
Yeah, there's the real
These are
cheesies.
cheesies.
Yes.
See, it says right there.
Canadian.
Cheesies. You know why
The old Canadian
You know why I
staple.
can say cheesies like that? Why I can say cheesies right on the bag? Because they had the patent on the word cheesies. Nothing else is named cheesies. Everything else is just bullshit and sucks. only cheesies. Only Hawkins makes cheesies.
Man, maybe we can get sponsored by cheesies now.
That's all they make, and they don't do any advertising campaign of any kind.
No, they don't have to. Why would you?
They don't, because they don't want to increase their production, because everybody gets to go home on Friday for the weekend. That's how the Hawkins Cheesies factory is run. Now, back in the day, they used to make all kinds of snacks, but eventually it just became the cheesies, and they had the cheesy extruder machine. So the original cheesy extruder machine and the original Hawkins Cheesies factory was in the 1950s in Tweed, Ontario, which is just down the road from where I grew up. But then eventually they moved down to Belleville. And eventually just specialized in cheesies only, but that's their machine, the cheesy extruder, it's called. There's like only one of them in the world.
Wow.
Cheesy extruder.
I wonder if the movie show Stranger Things took Hawkins from Hawkins cheesies.
I don't know. Is it a totally delicious show? I've never seen it. Is it the most delicious show you've ever put in your mouth?
I've never seen it either.
It's a really bizarre, weird show. It's like a 1980s retroistic take on graphic novels.
Sounds right up your alley, Mike.
Dungeons and Dragons.
The only problem with Hawkins Cheesies is you can't possibly open a bag without ripping the bag awkwardly. So every time you open a bag, no matter how hard you try,
Only you would have cheesies on the show.
This is a
I
fail.
want some.
I eat cheesies like every day almost. It's like
man,
only staple in my bachelor diet lately. I've just given up on life and eat cheesies whenever I can.
All right, well, I'll send you some recipes, Joey. They're really good. They're simple and easy.
Do they involve Hawkins
cheesy
cheesies?
recipes? You can put them in your soup.
Well, they don't involve cheesies. They involve healthy food.
Smoking good cheesy.
Barbecue.
I try and fire some of them up on the barbecue. It might taste good. Cheesies on the grill. Woo.
No, they'll burn. They burn like gas.
Oh man.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I've lit fires
yeah.
of cheesies before.
Yeah, you light one on fire and it'll just burn.
You
Yeah,
can
they
make
rip.
them at home too, but you need lots of cornmeal for that.
Why would you bother when the perfect cheese snack already exists?
Oh yeah.
I like to suck on them and like think about how great the universe is somewhere else.
So, Justin, I found out the price of that Lightning Thunderbolt tracker. It's $1,298.
Oh, it's too much.
Holy
It's too
fuck.
much. Jeez.
$1,300 for that?
I'll just go outside, watch for lightning, and when I see it, I've tracked the lightning.
Yeah.
That's not what nerds are supposed to say.
As long as it doesn't strike me first before I tell other people.
We're supposed
Then
to
they'll
say
never
something
know.
scientific. We're supposed to be like, well, we need to have like a accurate measurements.
Can I
right?
share a photo of it? It looks like a 1980s Game Boy Advance.
You better. I want to see this thing that I can never afford.
Yeah.
How do I share my
lately, you
screen?
guys, I'm like ready. Seriously, I'm gonna go do a storm tracker, and I'm hoping to get hit by lightning. That's the way my life's going. I just want it over with.
I'm careful what you wish for. I found out when it comes to lightning.
I know, Joey, you've been struck by it before.
Yeah, it'll get you. That stuff is tricky.
How do I share my screen?
Are you on the phone? It'll be on the bottom. Share. Like move your thumb left.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember those things. Looking for lightning. It's been a long time since I've seen one.
Those are wicked, hey?
It is
Strikes
cool.
detected. It looks so vintage, like the old Winnipeg Weather Channel. Like you guys know that, where it just all it shows is the weather, like 24/7 for Winnipeg, like in the vintage look. It's kind of what it looks like.
It is pretty old school looking.
Does it make a weird noise when strikes are detected?
I can understand if you run some job site and you know absolutely fuck all about the weather, and you're like, man, I don't know anything about weather, but thank goodness this thing will tell me before we all get killed by lightning. And it's like, like job sites, especially in the prairies in BC, people are like, oh, it's just a thunderstorm. They just keep tempting fate. But at least like there's a lot of places in the prairies when you can hear thunder, it's like shut the site down.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of.
They like have like baseball games while there's tornado warning sirens.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is kind of outdated though, that technology, right? The fact that we have radar at our fingertips here and weather apps and everything. I mean, I can see why somebody might need that, but I don't think anybody on this panel and probably a lot of people who watch the show don't even necessarily require it.
Never.
I wanted one of those when I was in high school, but now we got all this cool tech. Why bother with wasting a whole bunch of money on something like that?
Well, this thing dings every time there's a lightning strike within 300 kilometers.
I get like 15 notifications because I'm signed up for Winnipeg on like 15 different radar apps. So when a severe thunderstorm watch issued, I get like 15 alerts.
Look, there was 4 lightning strikes by Hinton. Of course, when you're in places where you don't have cell service and things like that, I get it. Like some of those tools may be much more handy than I'm giving credit for. But for the most part, most people don't have that experience. We're not going like, on we're not going to canoe the entire Mackenzie River or something like that, or
right.
Not in charge of some like $1 billion oil and gas job site where I want to know if there's lightning coming in the distance, and I don't know anything about anything. So lucky my machine just goes beep, lightning coming.
Well, most people are so oblivious. They're like, who the hell cares? Like, they don't care if there's lightning around. They're going to do what the hell they want to do.
That's true, eh?
Anyway.
I hate people.
I've heard stories, though, of people have been struck by lightning hundreds of kilometers away from a thunderstorm. There's this thing I saw in elementary school where this guy was struck by lightning, clear blue sky.
Yep. The bolt from the blue, I've seen it before, and I almost got a picture of it, but I was like a millisecond too late. I was so mad that I missed that light. That was like lightning shot of the year, of the lifetime.
Well, certainly, I recall it must have been at least 40 kilometers from. So the lightning detector went off. I was in Kamloops. They're on standby in 2023. Lightning detector on the phone goes off, and I go check it. And it says lightning strike. And it was like somewhere up by Vavenby, somewhere up the North Thompson. And I was like, oh, okay. What's going on up there? So I like go to the radar, and there's no storm anywhere near there. 40 kilometers to the nearest cell that was probably producing lightning.
Wow.
So I just like reached out and hit the mountain in the night,
Incredible. Yeah.
And that's only 40K. Like I know lightning's been known like 190 kilometers or some crazy distance the longest lightning bolt?
Wow.
Let's find out right now.
Yeah.
The longest lightning bolt section of the show. Here we go.
This is
The
cool.
longest
I
lightning
used
bolt
to
ever
enjoy a
recorded
lot
was.
of heat. Sorry.
Holy sheep shit. This is mind blowing. Whoa. So the longest lightning bolt ever recorded, so about 190 was the old number. This blows my mind, was 477.2 miles.
Oh.
That's 768 kilometers across Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi on April 29th, 2029.
What?
This mega flash, obviously.
2029.
Wow, Joey, 2029.
Or April 29th, 2020. You unforgiving people. This mega flash surpassed a previous record set in Brazil, 709 kilometers in 2018. So then I guess now that they know this is happening, they're like actually actively looking for it. Now we're finding examples of it. But 768 kilometer long lightning strike. Can you imagine that? You're like out there, I don't know what you're doing. You're like in the outhouse, or you're, playing golf, or you're, I don't know, running down the road, or running
Taking a dump somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just sitting there in the shitter, or you never know. And then suddenly you get killed by lightning from 768 kilometers away.
But I'll tell you what, satellite imagery is probably helping to lead the charge in that, like finding how far lightning is striking from the center of a storm.
This is friggin' nuts. Okay, I better share this because this is clearly nuts.
Also,
I see a YouTube video coming up, Joey.
Also in April, apparently of 2005, Winnipeg had a heat burst. I think it was from 14 degrees to like 30 something. I don't know heat burst, man, but I've heard stories where temperatures have been able to rise.
Yeah,
like
those things
60
are wicked.
degrees.
Yep,
Dying thunderstorm.
If lightning seems like it come out of a blue sky, it's probably a very powerful lightning strike too. Because
Look at that,
it's
captured by
probably
satellite. I knew
That's
it.
the point I was going to
positive
make.
CG.
That's the point I was going to make next, Hank, actually, was that it's obviously positive.
Yeah.
No negative charge strike can do that.
That's crazy. Big old CG.
That's a positive strike. For the viewers who don't know what a positive strike is, anyone want to enlighten them?
I don't know what a positive strike is.
Oh, Mike doesn't know what a positive strike is. So there's a negative charge and positive charge, Mike. Generally, the positive charge.
Negative.
The positive charge, people will always argue, like, I think lightning comes from the ground. And people are like, no, it comes from the sky. Well, they're both right, except it comes from the sky way more often than the ground. It comes from the sky most of the time. But a very small percentage of lightning strikes, and particularly strong thunderstorms, that is, like, I mean, look how supercharged the storm area is, produce flashes from the ground, the positive strikes, and they're the most powerful form of lightning.
Hey, years.
So
years
actually, in my intro to my videos, there's the shot of me up by the hotel I took here in Wells, and you can see the lightning strike is coming out of the ground. Literally, it's
same. My dad captured a video years ago. Like literally, the lightning comes out of our backyard in Brandon, and then like you can see the big CG, like kilometers, like way off in the distance. Like, but it comes out of the ground. Like I gotta find it and show you guys this incredible footage on an old camcorder.
Well, we learned that in welding school, running a DC welder. You can switch from positive ground to negative ground.
Mm-hmm.
When your work is positive and your electrode is negative, the work sucks the power down into the work, and it makes your weld burn really, really deep. But if you want to build a lump of weld on top of something, you turn it to the other way around. You turn it to negative ground.
It's this shot here in my intro.
There it is.
This is bad news.
My God. Falling out right now. Anything could happen. Get on!
I'll watch the video later. There it is.
Yeah.
You can see it's coming straight out of the ground. Even when I saw it, I knew what I was witnessing.
Wow.
But it's so fast, of course, in real time.
So when
And then I was looking at the footage later that night, and I was like, man, that's one of the most awesome, epic video shots I ever took.
Congrats. That's really nice. Yeah.
You know, look at it branching out from the ground specifically. That's a positive strike, Mike.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
And so I've seen a positive strike once in Hamilton, Ontario, and it was like, I was on my porch. This was back in 1999, maybe, or 2000. I was like on the deck looking out, and the lightning bolt came down. It was like, I know it was as thick as my thumb in the night because it was burnt into my eyeballs. Like everywhere I looked for like the next 20 seconds was like that lightning strike. And I was like, oh, it's like the size of my thumb, right? And then I counted some crazy long number before the thunder hit. You know, I could only guess if I would just be throwing out numbers now. I counted some crazy long number, and when the thunder hit, it was like boom, like literally shook. It literally shook the glass off the outside light, like the glass cover, and it smashed on the ground. I was like, that is fucked up. Like,
I've heard some stories of where lightning has actually gone into people's homes and shattered toilet bowls or destroyed their like electrical work.
Yeah, you're probably safer in the car.
Yeah. Light your house on fire.
You know, literally, people. Yeah, I even think about that. It's like if it's a really active lightning storm, it's like I don't want to take a leak.
Or take a shower.
Well,
Well, it hits anywhere near the water lines outside, and everything gets charged.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not paying attention today. Bad.
Oh, positive lightning follows the same basic principles as negative, with a key difference. The stepped leader descending from the cloud carries a positive charge, where the ground streamers carry a negative charge. So there's the insurance claim recovery support. They're the ones with the positive science behind.
You know what's funny? CKOW's antenna, the radio station antenna, was struck by lightning earlier this year, and they had to get new equipment because their system or something got fried. But I remember being outside during a really bad lightning storm and by the university and hearing these big cracks of thunder. I'm like, something probably got hit, and I guess their radio transmitter got hit. But can that same thing happen with buildings where it's a positive charge when it hits buildings?
I know of one that did.
I mean,
in Pennsylvania.
It's lightning, right? It's like,
right.
If it's striking a building, it can strike it as a negative or a positive.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I know a man in Pennsylvania who had his barn had lightning rods on it. He was going out to milk his cows, and it was thunderstorm, and lightning actually went from the ground through the cows and out the lightning rods, and all of his cows emptied their stomachs all over the barn. It was just plastered. The barn was plastered with shit and puke.
Holy shit!
And it blew the guy out the door into the yard. And the whole barn, he said, just lit up.
So here's something
about scared lit up before the clouds did. So that would have been a positive charge.
Scared shit list.
So less than 5% of all lightning strikes, and generally weak thunderstorms aren't producing positive lightning. Generally, a weaker the thunderstorm, the more it's producing cloud to cloud, right?
Right.
As it starts to reach to the ground more, the energy is such that the lightning wants to reach to the ground. Well, then you have this other thing that becomes possible, which is the positive strike. So these are the ones that are more likely to start a forest fire or cause power line damage or this or that, right?
Those are the most likely ones to get Justin out of the house to photograph lightning.
Well, there you go, too, right?
I don't like the cloud to cloud. It's not photogenic. Like the CGs are the photogenic lightning.
Well, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get photos from where I am. I'm like in a pretty open area in the north end, but I have to like take a ride down a couple of blocks to get the real view. for long distance, but I'm always afraid of getting struck by lightning at some sense because there's just so many objects in these regions. Whereas when the open field, you're more likely. I guess you're more likely to get struck by lightning when you're in an open field than when you're in a city.
Yeah.
And, your sprites and elves and those kinds of strange cloud phenomenon, they tend to happen
Ever
when
seen
there's a
ball lightning?
strike. I
Okay.
have. So that's interesting things to know. Like, so those if it's going 477 kilometers, it's one of these posies.
I really want to capture some red sprites or the elves or whatever. That'd be so cool. I think the only person on the prairies that has done that, or I don't even know, maybe even in Canada, was Greg Johnson, Storm Chaser. I know he captured the red sprites a few years ago. And I think it was actually in Manitoba. So
Don't
those
this
guys
have to be like an area where the thunderstorm reaches cloud tops above 50,000 feet?
probably pretty high up if it's got to be strong, Like if it's producing cloud to ground strike, like those positive strikes, and that's what creates the sprites and the elves, it's going to have to be a towering storm. It's not going to be a weak storm.
And not all CG is positive, just to be clear.
Right.
Is ball lightning real? Because I've heard stories of people saying that they've seen ball
Yes.
lightning.
Absolutely, it is. Still 30 degrees down there. No wonder these storms are firing off.
Right by the Gulf Coast. Oof.
It's a couple hours later in the night than it is here. Look at that thing, man.
I bet you'd be getting some
Holy.
good CGs down there. Look at that.
Yeah, there's some positive action happening in that storm. Almost for
Red
sure.
sprites, probably.
That's
yeah.
That thing is nuts.
Come to Manitoba, please. Come to Manitoba.
Give it a
That is
couple weeks,
nuts.
Justin. Give it a couple weeks.
Look at that thing spewing out
Holy.
lightning.
That is ridiculous.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I miss storms like that. That's one thing about Ontario. I miss being out west. You just don't see that kind of lightning activity out here.
Super cell. That's a super cell.
Like, last summer's storm here in Wells produced some great lightning, including that positive strike. But it wasn't, and I've seen this in Ontario. You've seen this in Manitoba. I've seen it in Manitoba myself, where it's just going off, just nonstop lightning. Like,
yeah, it's amazing. Oh.
Like,
Scary.
I was in Brandon the last time, the one time where I did see it there. Not the last time, one of the times where, after the Brandon Folk Fest, we took a drive out there the one night, on the Monday night, I think it was, and sat in the field, and it just went off. And like the next day, we drove west, and all of our heads were hurting from having witnessed so much lightning.
Wow!
In the darkness, just.
I remember one storm in 2022 at like 2 a.m. It was going off something like I saw, like, in the movie Twister, where the lightning is just flashing.
Yeah.
Like, when you see lightning like that, it's a powerful kind of storm.
That's what this is doing right now. If you're sitting around here somewhere, it's just going to look like nonstop flashing from all over the place.
Well,
say you're in Goldway
see...
right now. You're looking at this thing coming at you, and it's
I feel really bad for people who have seizures with
the
lights.
You're in Goldway.
When you see all the lightning, and you see a storm producing more and more lightning, it's intensifying. Like, that's your number one visual look. Is it producing more lightning? It's intensifying.
I saw that 2019, actually. There was one storm and started to rotate right over top of Kildonan Place, and it was like, oh geez, it's gonna like form a tornado. Thankfully it didn't, but you'd see the lightning off in the east was just going absolutely nuts. And that's usually kind of like you're right on that. It's a telltale sign that storms are usually on that intensifying front.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish I was there right now.
Oh, me too. Tripod set up, shooting away.
That looks way more interesting than.
Well, they are working on teleporting. Scientists have discovered a way for teleporting to be possible. I don't know if that's going to ever happen, but I'll be the first to purchase it.
Could be more expensive than going to space.
Well, once they can make a television that doesn't break, I'll
Yeah.
trust their teleporting machines.
Right.
It's like people have to buy a new television like every year. That's the way it is now.
Getting worse.
I still have mine from 2009. It's hasn't quit. So
yeah, I've still got mine from when my parents bought me a TV for Christmas, like an RCA TV, like a 32-inch RCA. It's still going strong.
The last time I watched the Maple Leafs play a playoff game in the third round, I was literally watching it on a black and white TV. Because that's what was in the farm. That's what was in the farm. It wasn't like
right.
It wasn't like it was that long ago, but still 25 years ago, to have a black and white TV in a farmhouse or something like that wasn't still that unusual.
Now, see, the TVs weighed like 700 pounds, but you knew at least you wouldn't have to, move another one for another 30, 40 years.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you're like, thank goodness it'll last forever because I'm never moving that beast again.
Yeah.
I had this TV. I couldn't get rid of it forever. It was like so heavy. It was crazy. It was the most awkward, awful thing I ever read.
Wow.
If you just thought about moving it, you would hate your life and everything. You'd hate everything. Look at this. The storm prediction for Northwest Territories. I mean, this is fucked up.
That's crazy, hey?
It's been going on for the last couple of years, more and more and more. And now we're like seeing like pretty charged storms going off. Like you look on satellite and you're like, man, looks nearly supercellular to me.
Same with Manitoba, like some crazy structure last year, like north of Thompson. Like it was nuts, like on these First Nations.
I think Churchill got hit with a supercell in 2015 at golf ball size hail or something.
Like we need better radar coverage, honestly. Like Manitoba especially. Like it's not fair, but like Alberta
this
has
corner
so many
does
radars.
now. This corner up here is getting so much thunderstorm activity all the time.
Like we need a radar up by like the Paw, Flin Flon, Thompson. Like I know there's not too many people there, but like heck, Fort McMurray has a friggin' radar station.
Well,
I think what they said is that there's a lack of like money to fund those radars and a lack of road access.
Well,
which I have a hard time believing.
Well, that's a good point though, Mike, because I mean, Environment Canada can't even keep Foxhorn or Woodlands operating steady for a couple weeks, so we better fix the ones we have, and they're pretty much darn brand new. They're only like 5-10 years old, and they're not even operating half the time. It's ridiculous.
Someone said to me it's the data feed that they're using Bell or something for their data speeds.
What did I do?
I think it's got something to do with their provider.
Well, whatever it is, they need to get off the dial-up modem and get with 2025. Like it's ridiculous.
This looks pretty juicy for next week Thursday if that stays.
Wow.
If that stays.
Man,
I got the
hopefully get
now in the way.
A good clipper, from that coming across the prairies. That'd be nice. Get a cold front, get us some supercells going too.
That looks like a pretty good signal.
Yeah.
All the way through BC, 27, 28 degrees. The warm-up's coming. And that's the one thing I'm wondering this year is when we finally start getting that warmer weather, if we keep this offshore flow, it's going to keep giving us lots of moisture.
Lots
of lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it may be that they're high precip ones, like we've seen in past years, that don't necessarily mean fires.
You mentioned we're still doing like our summer outlook, and I think it's going to be a little more active than average, despite it being quiet.
Yeah, well, we've already got 2 confirmed tornadoes this year in Manitoba. That's a good start.
Storm season hasn't actually started there in reality.
Not really, but I mean, I'm 0 for 2 because I missed both of them, so nothing new there.
This is that corner I'm talking about. It's the tri corner up here. I don't know. There needs to be a name for it. This area where we've had all the fires that burning.
Up by Fort Nelson, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, over the last 3 or 4 years, everything basically within the scope of where this low is, everything within those isobars tends to be where I've seen the increase in thunderstorm behavior and increase in fire weather, increase in warm days. There you go. Hay River, Northwest Territories, 27 degrees.
That's
You know, in the
insane.
1980s, you just never would have heard of that. You know, people would have been like, "Oh, 30 degrees in Hay River. That doesn't happen."
That jet is really going like north. Like I think it's going to be increasing the drought across the southern prairies, but it's going to be giving those stronger storms more up across the northern prairies.
They also have the subtropical jet stream too that we've got to contend with later in the summer months. That usually tends to be in the southern United States, but depending on how far north the other jet stream goes, that subtropical jet could get up on our neck of the woods.
Well, they're talking about like a heat dome setting up across the western U.S. this summer, up into the southern Canadian prairies, big area of high pressure. So that would correlate with what Joey's saying. That would lift our trough further north up into the territories.
Yeah, well,
We
we'll be
could still
waiting.
get some powerful troughs going through that heat dome.
We still could, but I think overall it's going to be that kind of a pattern, hot and dry.
This is our upper level low pattern that we've been getting here.
Yeah.
And it really sucks. It's just nonstop.
Like you have a pattern and then eventually, that pattern breaks down, but it's like the frequency of that certain pattern, I think, is going to be what we're looking at this summer.
This pattern's kind of been there since last summer.
Right. So maybe it won't break down.
that looks different. But then no, it comes back. It comes right just a little bit further south, that one. So
it's interesting. Like it always makes me wonder, like, what if we didn't have the Rocky Mountains? Like how much different our weather would be.
Very different, yeah. And also, like, nobody in Alberta would have anything to brag about.
No.
I'm hoping we do get some rain between now and the 30th because I've got a retreat. I'm going up to Star Lake Lodge, which is west of West Hawk Lake. And West Hawk Lake is closed, but they've reopened Falcon Lake recently. So I don't know what's going to happen for us.
It's not looking good, man. Like those fires, like they grew tremendously over the last 12 hours. And I think they're just going to, like the ceiling, like there's no ceiling. It's endless for these fires. I think it's going to get really
not
bad.
with the heat coming, you're right.
I think it's going to get really bad. I don't see them stopping anytime soon. They might go all summer. Who knows?
That's
what
possible.
bothers me is that the air quality has already been reduced and we're not even in June. Like we got this 2023 in like late June, early July. So this is really early.
Like the thing is, like out west, it's looking great. It's not looking good for Joey who wants to work on fires. It's looking great for us because usually we get that westerly wind flowing eastward across the prairies, and that's where we get our smoke from. But this year, at least to start, the smoke is generating in our own province of Manitoba.
If you don't have anything, major, like, I mean, basically you had your chance this last week.
Exactly.
You had your chance for a lot of those fires to get sat down, and some areas in Manitoba, like obviously up by the Paw, for example, things are quiet there. There's a lot of Manitoba that took that rain hard. There's a lot that didn't.
But even those ones are starting to reignite. Like there was clouds on the satellite earlier on in the day, but you could see like the clouds were thin enough that the Paw, Flin Flon, that area, it was starting to spark again. I think it's sort of them going up.
We looked at the heat there, though. We looked at firms, and it doesn't show much activity there, and it hasn't for a long time now.
Right.
My impression is there's probably some hot edges here and there that might wake up at some point, but really, like those fires took a beating. They're a while before they can, and if people are working them, they have time to get on them and get them done.
That's a good
point. The
point.
ones in eastern Manitoba, they had a bit of, they chilled out a little bit because the weather was down, but they didn't take the rain.
No,
they didn't stop active burning.
And it was windy the whole time. The wind has been blowing. Like we haven't had a calm day. Like,
and now you're into a pattern of heat coming. So that you're right. Like, what is the ceiling for those fires? It's high.
I think it's endless.
Very high.
Yeah.
I just
how
looked
long
at
will that go? I don't know.
Just looked at the climate forecast model forecast for June and July. Looks like a above average precip in the east and above average precip in the west in June. So
yeah, but see, like the problem I have with those models is like they change like every day because it's been showing like higher precip for the last couple months, and I mean this last week, we've had some higher totals, but it's not widespread. Like I said, I had 75 millimeters, and over in the Whiteshell had 5. So that's why the fires are still going.
I mean, long range forecasts, you got to take with a grain of salt.
Oh, but the Weather Network summer outlook's coming out this week or something, I heard. So
I'll find out what they say then, and I'll say the opposite, and then I'll end up being right and famous again for it. That's happened a couple times to me in my weather nerd career, where the big one was when they're like, 2019 was BC King of the Heat, Dr. Doug Gillum there, and I was like, fuck, I don't see it. There's the same pattern we're in right now.
Yeah,
was going on. I was like, and at this point it was the end of June, and I was like, it's still doing that upper level low crap. It's the same thing still going on. I don't see it, Doug. Like when?
King of the Heat.
Look at the 2-week forecast. It's like looking pretty crappy every day. I'm like, well, when does that change? Like maybe it will, but King of Heat.
I don't understand that. Like they have way more access to like professional data than we ever do, and they're wrong way more. Like
that's the thing, right?
I don't understand, but
it's
whatever.
Because they're data heavy. It's all they use is data,
right?
Or something,
There's no knowledge. It's like
you can't like rely on your own experience. And my experience here is that there's times where the weather sets in, and it's like there was no summer.
That's what I don't like. It's like these people in Ontario are like trying to forecast weather across other parts of Canada. You guys know Ontario. You don't know Manitoba. You don't know BC. Like let us kind of, take care of that, or at least have an expert that you can kind of talk to that's based in the province.
Well, and like I say, there's been summers, and 2019 was one of them, and 2020 was as well, where like you could basically say there really wasn't really a summer.
Yeah.
2012. I think, or 2011, sorry, it rained like hell here in the summer. Like days of like consecutive rain. Like the rain hadn't stopped. It's been raining for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like it poured all summer, and it was like snow on the mountaintops all through August. And it's like,
yeah.
Where is this heat coming? When's the King of Heat? So then people were like later on, like they're like Joey was right. The heat never came.
Yeah, no King of Heat.
It's like, I know, like you look at your models and it could say, well, this is probably what will happen. But it's like, man, until I see something changing, that's just guessing. That's just like.
Yeah, see, with that, Mike, I do see the low eventually coming, and I think it's going to happen. There'll be a big, you get the buildup of heat, kind of like what we had the last couple of weeks, the historic heat, and then you get that all come crashing down. Yeah. But what I think is that it's just not going to come soon enough. Like it's so dry already. Those fires didn't take any rain, so the next like 1 to 2 weeks where it's just dry and the heat builds, the fires are going to build so much that even if we do get a bunch of rain, like it's just not going to be enough to really hamper them. That's what I think, but we'll see.
And this heat dome that's just persisting over a region like here, and even in late June, early July, is not going to change the situation much.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah,
like it may settle them down for a little bit, but the longer that they're able to keep spreading and growing, the more difficulty you're going to have to put them down. And when you get these moments that buy you time, there's less that you can do to make up for the time. It's like, so your weather goes down for a week. It's like, cool, we can get on top of this now, except it's so big we can't get on top of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought I'd share that.
Next hot spell comes, everything starts standing up again and waking
up.
Yeah,
that's good to see, Mike. And I hate to be all doom and gloom, but it's like, man, reality has to set in eventually.
Well, you've been without a good fire season in Manitoba for a number of years.
Yeah.
And when your number's up now.
Yeah.
So far, it seems like. I mean, the spring can be burn season in the prairies.
Yeah.
It can be, and it can get shut off. Sure, it might change at some point, but I don't see where that is right now.
Yeah, me either, honestly. In the next month or so, at least.
Yeah, you're in for an active, particularly at least the next couple of weeks. There's going to be a lot of fire stories again.
I mean, it's good for the Weather Center of Manitoba because people sharing all those fire videos. It's getting a lot of reach and stuff and engagement for the business side of things. But as a business owner, it's not really what I want to see. Like I don't hope for people to lose their lives and houses to burn and whatever. But hey, business is business at the end of the day.
Well, I sure hate having nothing to talk about for like 6 months in the winter.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, how cold is it? How much snow is it? That's like the two things that they talk about. It's like,
You know,
man,
it's like make hay while the sun shines, make hay while the fire burns. Like, I don't know,
yeah,
like
talk weather while there's weather happening.
exactly. I like active weather, but you know, we all do. We're weather people, so.
Well, and that's one of the big things too, is that at least this year we don't have fires in the West. Because at least we can get storms that won't have that inhibiting factor with smoke. We can at least still have that chance for storms to develop with less smoke. But I don't know how the West is going to fare the rest of the year. Hopefully, it stays the way it is. We don't need any more of these. I was just making a joke today. I'm just thinking, like, I feel like we switch places. Can we do like a reverse of the Freaky Friday stuff?
That's why, like, still I've not been, willing to make a real projection or prognosis as to what kind of fire season we're going to have in BC because I need to see that upper level low pattern break again, like I said in 2019 and 2020. And we get the January sometimes, and if it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't stop being January. I've had a couple years in BC where, like I say, like there really wasn't much of a summer, and then you get these other extreme ones, right? So is it happening where you're taking the warm up and we're taking the off season? I don't know that yet. Certainly, there's enough heat in the system that if it decides to be hot, it can be extremely hot very quickly. And if we have unsettled weather being thrown into the province from the Gulf of Alaska, that's going to create lightning.
Well, Matt, the fact that we already had a plus 37 Celsius day in the start of May in Manitoba, like I wouldn't be shocked if by the end of summer we're talking that somewhere in Manitoba reached a high of 47, 48 Celsius, approaching 50. I would not be shocked at all.
There's more heat in the system
I'm
now.
looking back pre-1950 in our analog years for the 1930s. The 1940s did actually have temperatures in the 40s, so it wouldn't surprise me if we got that high.
Yeah, well, I'm getting kind of worn out here. I think I'm going to call her a night here. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a good chat though, man.
I'm
I've
still hanging out. My
enjoyed
neck
coming
gets
on
so sore
tonight.
from sitting here sometimes, and I'm in absolute pain right now. I can't handle any more sitting at this chair.
It's been good to come on.
Hey, in 15 minutes, my new mountain hike video comes out in the channel. So there you go.
Everybody go watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to a
pretty
rave on
neat.
Friday night, so I'm going to probably be up till about 3 a.m.
I'm off for the rest of the week. It's my second long weekend in a row because of my toes. So I need ingrown toenails more often, then I can come on the show more.
Yeah, gotta keep alternating between feet. Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
it was good. It was good
Yeah.
time, Joey.
Have a good night, guys.
Good to see everybody there. Thanks everybody in the chat there.
Hey, Hilding, nice to see you, buddy.
Good night,
Yeah,
Ryan,
nice to see you
Helen, and
guys again.
Shelly, and Lisa, and Gary, and Angela there, and everybody. Thanks for being with our little tiny